On this worksheet, we're seeing two examples of color backgrounds. And also, we might want to apply borders here as well. Both of those features are found on the Home tab in the font group, although they don't specifically relate to fonts. So I've got a blue background here. That's just fine, although I might want to explore a little bit. The fill color bucket, sometimes we call it the bucket, even though we don't see that term there, has a drop arrow. And we see some choices here, and we can certainly go down this path. Keep in mind that with text, dark backgrounds, unless you've got a white text entry here, don't work so well. And down here, we've got yellow cells. Here too, all the more important, we don't want to be using dark colors here. But again, why are we using the colors? Simply to make the data stand out, provide a little bit of color, maybe pizzazz is too strong of a word here. We just want to enliven the appearance here. Sometimes a sea of numbers, as these are sometimes called, just overwhelm the audience and make it a little bit more boring than it really needs to be. So we can use these pretty much at our own will. And when you're choosing these colors, by the way, by using the drop arrow here on that fill color bucket, if you're unhappy with these, you might see some standard colors. We don't see yellow up there, but we see it down here. But if this still isn't enough, you can choose more colors. And on the standard tab here are 127 different choices, and you can click on this one and that one. You don't get a preview in the background, but if I want to use light blue here, I'll click OK and see if I like that or not, and there it is. So you can certainly waste some time here, but you might develop some favorites. Once you have used that, for a while at least, when you go to other cells to highlight them, and you click that same arrow to the right of the bucket, you'll see those under recent colors. Also, at certain points, you'll say, I don't want color here. Highlight these. We come back to that same choice, click the drop arrow, and choose No Fill. Now, sometimes a border is more appropriate than colors. Not as obvious, perhaps, but we might want to put a border around these. These are the only pure numbers in this worksheet. All the others are formulas. So let's put a border around them. So on the Home tab in that same font group, here's a drop arrow for borders and lots of choices. Maybe just a thick outside border. Is that good enough? When you apply border features, often you can't tell whether it's happened until you click outside the highlighted area. So that's what that border is looking like. And just to experiment a little bit, I'm going to put a border around here, but maybe a different one. We could go back to that drop arrow, consider some of these options. If none of those quite appeals to us, we could go all the way to the bottom and choose more borders. And then again, in a potential time waster here, choose a different border style. There's one there. Different color along the way. Make that be red possibly. And then consider using it as an outline only or on an inside as well as outline. And tons of options, some of which probably are not too widely used, like the diagonals. So click OK, and maybe we've done that. I think you realize we're approaching the aspect of overkill or overusing a feature just for effect. But these are easy to get to. Border features found here within the font group, and then just to the right of that, color backgrounds, widely used in Excel to make data stand out. On this worksheet called Fonts in our O4 formatting file, we see a different font size being used in row 1. And the Home tab is currently active, as it often is. And these various sections here are referred to as groups. And the group called Font right here includes lots of features related to the size of text, the style of it, the color of it, and so on. There are border options here and color backgrounds. We'll deal with those in the next movie. But if I simply want the title entry here to be larger, here's a number, 20. Click the drop arrow. As I slide over this, you can see what's happening in the background. We're using a larger font size, and that's appropriate for certain kinds of titles here. I'll stop on this one and leave it that way. In Excel, the standard font size is 11. And we see that as we click on these various cells. You see it up on the Home tab. And the standard font is Calibri. That earlier title that we had seen is called Candera. And when you're working with titles, sometimes to enliven a worksheet, make it a bit more prominent, we'll get to the color background in the next movie, but using a different font sometimes makes sense. And this can be a real time waster. There are just many, many different font types out here. And as you slide over these, you get a brief preview. Some of these would be completely inappropriate for business purposes. Don't use the chiller font unless you're doing a Halloween greeting card or something like that. Off to the right is a reminder, and not really that important anymore, but in older versions of Excel, prior to 2007, Arial was the standard font, size 10. Now it's Calibri, size 11. And much of the time, we don't really care, but just a brief note there about the comparison of the two. And at different times, you might want to make fonts larger to make the data stand out a little bit more differently. Or, for example, maybe we just want to take this data here and make that be more prominent than the other data. We could make that be 12 font or 14 font as needed. Sometimes it looks like you're just playing with the data, but use those judiciously. And if there are not enough choices here, or if you heard that there are more choices, well, there are. Each of these groups has a little tiny arrow in the lower right-hand corner, font settings. I'm going to click the arrow here. And in addition to some of the features we've already seen, here are the different font types. Bold, italic, underline, we didn't really talk about, but they're up there as well too. But some additional features like superscript and subscript. So we can get to those features as well. And not only do we have standard underlining off of the U button, but also we've got double underlining, single accounting, double accounting, some features that are not widely used, but yet are available. That superscript, by the way, is used down in cell B17, where we simply highlight the number 2 there, and that didn't happen automatically. You have to highlight the number 2, and then use that arrow button here, as we did here, and choose superscript. You can see it was chosen here already. And subscript if you're putting in, for example, H2O. So specialized uses for this capability as well, too. There's a strike-through feature. You can use that, too, by way of that same button here. And you can also get into this dialog box here if you press Control-1. So most users, most of the time, can get by with the buttons that we see here. Two others I didn't mention just quickly. You can make fonts larger with the increase font size or smaller with the decrease font size here too. And so at different times, changing the style of the font, the size of it, bold, italic, underline as necessary. All these can be used in either creative ways or simply to provide emphasis for certain parts of a worksheet.